soccer, Barnsley take on Sunderland.
It's Yorkshire against the North East again at Oakwell, Barnsley versus Sunderland. The home fans remember the visit of Newcastle 3 months ago. More of the same would do nicely.
A Scott off the crossbar. But that's a great ball in. Here's a Conley, can get another one. With the cross, it's a good one, and is that the goal for Barnsley? It is from O'Connell.
Hello, good afternoon to you from Oakwell. Live league football returns to Yorkshire television, and here to enjoy it with us once more is the Wales manager, Terry Yorath. Welcome, Terry. If the football in Barnsley against Sunderland is half as good as Barnsley against Newcastle, we're in for a treat, aren't we?
Well, that game against Newcastle was incredible because there was only one goal, and I think if this game is as good today, then I think you'll see plenty of goals, especially with the two sets of strikers who go on the field.
Every chance it'll be as open.
Oh, no doubt. Barnsley play good passing football, or at least try and play that way. Sunderland, obviously, they play football, the tradition there, and I think it'll be a very good game today.
And loads of Sunderland fans will come down the M1 with guaranteed a good atmosphere.
Oh, certainly. They take a fantastic support away from home. There's always good support here at Barnsley, so there'll be great atmosphere. OK, before the two teams come out, let's hear from the managers. Mel Machin of Barnsley first.
The game at Sunderland, beginning of the season, it was a good game. They actually won the game, but we look at it as a revenge today. And as you say, the conditions are very good, and we're looking forward to the 3 points.
We're trying to pick up as many points as we can this season and finish as high as we can, whether that be, in top table or whatever. We're looking to pick points up all the time. I think it's a very positive attitude from the players, and obviously everyone's looking forward to the game. I can only pick so many. 11 players to play, so there's going to be 1 or 2 disappointed people, which is the way it should be. There's 11 games left, there's 33 points to be fought for. 33 points will take us to 80 points, and I think that might be in with a shout with the playoffs, so you have to look at that. And we did OK at Birmingham in midweek, up to a point, and then conceded a goal 4 minutes to go, which obviously killed us off. But we had chances, didn't take the chances, and we are making chances. So hopefully now with Big Mick there and Don Goodman and the lift that Mick has given us this week, we can start taking those chances away.
Well, this is just about where the manager's talking has to stop. It's all down to the two teams. Barnsley wearing their usual red shirts. They've had a couple of great results recently, but a disappointing goalless draw here against Notts County in midweek, so they owe their fans something a little bit better today. And as for Sunderland, they won 3-0 last week and 3-0 here last season, but as Terry Butcher was saying, they lost to a late goal at Birmingham in midweek. Now, both teams field proven goal scorers today. Making his debut for Sunderland is Mick Harford. There he is. He's joined his 8th club this week, and he's now back with his hometown team at the age of 34, and a real threat, Terry, to any defence.
Yes, Mick's a journeyman. He's had plenty of clubs, but he's always honest. He's a big, honest lad. We'll go in for headers. There he goes on low to head that one in the back of the net. But he always gives value for money, whichever club he's played for. There's another header. There's
a lot of managers have been after him this season, haven't they?
Well, no doubt. They're very few and far between. Good goal scorers who are also strong in the air, and I think he'll help Don Goodman out no end. There's another header, gets a rebound.
So that's the proven goal scorer on the one side, and there's also an equally proven goal scorer on the other side as well. That's Wayne Biggins of Barnsley. He's never let Barnsley down this season. It's been important for them, especially with other forwards out injured now. He's about 3 years younger than Harford, and like him, he started his league career, funnily enough, with Lincoln City, and he's done really well for Barnsley since they signed him just at the start of the season. Yeah,
Wayne's another one who's tremendous value. He's one of these players that never ever has been transferred probably for more than £200,000. But whichever club he's played for, he's scored goals, he's good in the air, he's excellent with his back to the goals, just as we've seen now. And he links up well with his midfield. his partnership with Curry, I always feel, is a very, very dangerous one, no matter which team they're playing against.
So who else would you be looking for this afternoon?
I think Archdeacon's a good player for Barnsley. You know, he's got a good left foot, good striker of the ball. He takes most of their set pieces, and I think that he is the one that feeds those two. With Sunderland, they'll have obviously looking for Harford, but they have got Goodman as well. I think Goodman with his pace could trouble Barnsley's back four, or their back three, or sometimes they play with a sweeper.
So where's your money this afternoon?
My money would have to be on Barnsley, because I feel that they're good at home, they play good football, and I think that they are just too strong at the moment for Sunderland.
OK, well, we'll see what happens. Thanks very much indeed. Let's join our commentators. The former Chesterfield manager, Chris McMenemy. A pleasure to welcome him to the commentary box alongside John Howell. John.
Thank you, Nick, and thank you, Terry. There's certainly a familiar look about this Barnsley side. Mel Machin doesn't often ring the changes, but he has been deprived of three strikers, Andy Rammell, John Pearson and Andrew Liddle. So Brendan O'Connell, the match winner against Newcastle, is pushed up front to play alongside Wayne Biggins. There is one new name in there, Ian Hendon, a 21-year-old from Spurs, taking his place in midfield. If he impresses, he'll join Barnsley after his loan spell. Sunderland today are without their evergreen fullback John Kay, who doesn't miss many matches, but a combination of ankle and ear injuries keep him out, so there's a place in defence for ex-captain Gary Bennett. In attack, Harford's going to link up with Don Goodman, the pacey former Bradford City man, Sunderland's most expensive player ever at 900,000, and justifying that at the moment with 11 goals this season. Chris, perfect conditions today, and certainly one to look forward to this.
Yes, good afternoon, John. Good conditions. The pitch looks in excellent shape. Interesting game, because Barnsley, as Mel admitted before the game, in their last match here weren't too impressive, and they'll need to impress in front of their own supporters. And Sunderland, as usual, have brought a large contingent from the north-east, so exciting game, hopefully.
Well, you got a shot there of the referee in your centre circle at the moment. Here's Mr. Vic Callow from Solihull in the Midlands. The last time he was here, and from a Sunderland point of view, I hope this isn't an omen necessarily, Barnsley thrashed Newcastle, their neighbours, 3-0. And there's the first free kick of the game, and it's been awarded to Sunderland. Sunderland often throw out the big fellas in here, and they'll be looking immediately for the head of Harford. Terry Butcher too has gone up. It's not surprising. Kevin Ball, the captain, runs over it, and it's flicked over towards Harford. And Goodman, and it's going to have to be put out of harm's way by Fleming, who belts it away into that new stand. Sunderland's throwing. Sunderland in the white shirts with the blue flashing. To remember, of course, they got to Wembley last season, and there's a pretty safe catch right at the start for Phil Whitehead. All goalkeepers like to have a feel of the ball early on, and that's what he's got.
Yes, especially young goalkeepers, and nasty little free kick that bounced in the box. Nobody really got a touch to it and had to hook it away, but Phil would be glad to get a touch on it.
O'Connell couldn't retain possession for Barnsley, so it's Sunderland who come forward, but to 4 red shirts immediately around Harford. And then they're played into the space just outside the penalty area, and Taggart just stooping and heading the ball back to goalkeeper Whitehead. Both sides favouring the flat back 4 today. Barnsley often play with sort of 5 men across the back, but with the losing Mark Robinson, the recent transfer to Newcastle, it's meant that Mel Machin has reshaped.
Yes, John, they've had to make a few changes today, obviously with injuries and the losing Robinson, which was a good sell, I think, in Newcastle. And a flat back 4, like for like the teams today, so a hard job really for both defences, I think.
Well, let's hope so. We all want to see a few goals. Barnsley certainly struggled in that department in midweek in a rather wretched goalless draw with Notts County. Even by their own manager's admission, it was wretched. Well, that can happen. It's all about the chemistry of the two teams. Earlier this season, Sunderland beat Barnsley by 2 goals to 1 up at Roker Park, and by this stage of the match, Sunderland were already ahead. They got a first-minute goal then. Not today. That's a good piece of play. Here is Biggins, edge of the Sunderland area, and there was Bennett tackling him. Stifling challenge on Goodman that time, and Barnsley come forward in numbers. Now it's Archdeacon trying to trick his way through, and the outstretched leg of the player manager denied him. Forward into the path of Kerry, or just beyond him in fact. David Curry operating wide on the right today. Something, Chris, I've noticed about this Barnsley team, that almost everybody in it plays in a couple of positions at least and can juggle them around.
Yes, he does vary the team a fair bit. Sometimes you have to as a manager through injury, but Mel likes to do it. I mean, David Curry plays usually up straight down the middle, and a lot of people like it in the game, a lot of flair, but he can do a job on the right-hand side. He likes to cut in and take people on, and with his ability and his excitement, it's good for fans to watch especially.
There is David Curry, and it's a free kick for Barnsley. Steve Davis with it. There is Curry, edge of the area, kept at bay, and then a miss kick. Might open something up here for Barnsley. It's going to come through for Charlie Bishop. Shorter, and the first sighting there of Hendon. Didn't have much joy with that. On goes Biggins, and on two goes Fleming. Unusual to see him up there, and Norman at full stretch makes the catch. Good to see Gary Fleming getting into such an attacking position.
Yes, Sunderland like to hold the edge of the box very, very late, and a good run there by the fullback. Got into a good position, clipped the ball back. Could have gone near or far, but unfortunately went straight into the goalkeeper's arms.
That's long, and Harper underneath it just couldn't get there. Here is Hendon though, and has to lay it back to Whitehead. He does the sensible thing and puts the ball straight out of play. Certainly a lively enough start, and here is that very lively striker, Goodman. Well, they misread that situation totally. Curry now, on he goes. He's got sublime skills, David Curry. And well won back too by Redfern.
That's what we said, John, isn't it? David Curry's cut inside there from around about the halfway line, and he starts to commit people. People have to come and defend against him. He takes them on with his ability, and they've ended up moving up the field 30 yards and getting a throw.
I think that ball's already in somebody's living room. We've got another one. We're situated in the old stand here at Barnsley. So looking across to the new edifice, £2.5 million worth. They really have come on leaps and bounds at Barnsley. A very progressive club. But that sort of progression won't do. Goal kick. There is word too that the spectators you see there behind the goal being defended by Tony Norman might also be sitting down in future. There are talks going on about a possible new stand at the Pontefract Road end. Headed up in the air by Hours, and Harford with a neat little touch, and they try to open things up down the right with their captain Ball. No push. Goodman looks a little confused. We thought he'd got a free kick then.
Another player there, John, Gary Hours for Sunderland, plays in a number of positions. Today he's playing wide left. Had his problems this season through injury, but he's got back into the side, and a good utility player, strong lad. It should feature quite well going forward today.
Somebody who's very strong, Butcher. Hendon, that's a free kick. Ian Hendon, the 21-year-old England under-21 player, of course. So he's well known to Mick Wadsworth here at Barnsley, who looks after that side. And the free kick will be taken by Charlie Bishop, who wears number 2, but is playing at left back today. And he can chip this one up round about the penalty area, away from Bennett. Redfern loses, well, he won the ball, but wasn't able to direct it to anyone. There's plenty of room out on the right, and it's Harford who's crossing it this time. Wasn't a bad cross either. It found Hours, left-hand side of the area. Fleming tenaciously staying with Hours. Trying for Sunderland. There's the Northern Ireland defender Gary Fleming. One of 2 internationals in his defence, of course, Taggart being the other. The ball in is from Ord. Hendon's header not entirely emphatic, so Ball thumps one in. This now is Archdeacon. Armstrong, good in the air, won that, but Ward's pass rather haphazard. Barnsley's home record has been excellent in recent weeks. In fact, they've lost only one of their last 11 here at Oakwell. That was only a couple of weeks ago against Leicester City on the day the new stand was officially opened. So here now is Kerry. Ord at his back.
Interesting, John. Sunderland's back four today, basically, essentially all four of them are centre-backs. Kevin Ball, who's playing right back, and Richard Ord, who is left back today, are really orthodox centre-halves. So maybe Barnsley can exploit that down the sides.
It's funny, the same could be said of Barnsley, who've played all four of their chaps in the middle at some stage.
That's right.
So there isn't an orthodox fullback on the field. Taggart will be pursued by Goodman. Goodman's as quick as anybody in the league, so they have to beware that sort of a pass today. Harford. Well, Mick Harford's game is all about power, really. He's a very raw customer in many ways. I mean that in the best possible sense. He's a very physical player. That's his game. He likes to get up, win the ball, knock people about.
That's right. He's aggressive, and as Terry said before the game, he's always given good value for money. He'll be desperate to impress today.
Yes, I know Mel Machin was a bit worried about making his debut here. Often scores on his debuts, does Harford, and he's played a good ball here for Goodman. And this is a 1-against-1. Goodman against Steve Davis. Armstrong now. Floating it. 10 minutes played as it goes over to the far side of the penalty area. And a sensible header back from Archdeacon. Of course, it's all right for the goalkeepers to take back headers as opposed to back passes.
That's right. Good switch of the play from Gordon Armstrong. They were going down the left-hand side. He switched it to the right. And half a chance for Sunderland there.
Here for Biggins now, Biggins and Butcher. Terry Butcher's always been commanding in the air, as he should be, about 6'3" of him, of course.
Yeah, he's got about a foot advantage over Wayne there.
Sunderland will claim the throw this time. Kevin Ball is Sunderland's captain. Davis's ball has found Kerry, and he tried to turn, and in fact it's come out all right for Barnsley because Redford now feeds Biggins. Down the outside right channel comes Fleming, and the cross doesn't look bad either. Butcher flicks it away, only as far as Hendon. Bishop with it, and up here in the area is O'Connell. Was wrestled away, but legally. There's a lot of jostling goes on in penalty areas. And that's the sort of challenge that will produce a free kick.
Good early ball in from Barnsley there, from the right-hand side, from the full-back, and obviously Terry Butcher's height came to Sunderland's rescue there. If somebody could have got ahead to that, could have been an early chance.
Nobody's keener to impress, of course, than Terry Butcher, as player-manager. There is the man who won 77 England caps, mostly in his days at Ipswich Town, of course, and there he is with this free kick up towards Harford. Taggart's header out. Will come back via Kevin Ball. Biggins loops it across. Curry kills it instantly. That was a good professional skill, and what's more, he's played an excellent ball out here for Archdeacon. In fact, it was Biggins who picked it up and ignored Archdeacon. And that will just be kept in by O'Connell. Not much support.
It was the biggest 1-2 of the season there, wasn't it? From Biggins to Curry on this side, and then back to Biggins again. Great first touch from Curry. Just a shame they couldn't have developed that.
quite long from Tony Norman, midway inside the Barnsley half. It is a big blow for Barnsley, though, at this stage of the season, to lose their top scorer, Andy Rammell. With Wayne Biggins is still in there, of course, but Rammell has got plenty of goals for Barnsley this season. Here now is Goodman, looking to again exploit that pace. He's got such an unusual running style as well. It's not even gone out. So the cross comes in from Kaloon, and at full strength Phil Whitehead plucks it out. Oh, picking apples off the tree, and Whitehead's in good form.
There's once or twice now, John. Harford's come off short. He's brought Don Goodman into play with long balls in behind the fullbacks. So signs there of the first link up between the two of them.
Well, Terry Yorath with us as well today. Terry, we were saying before the game it promised goals, and I think we can still hold out plenty of promise.
Oh, certainly there you've seen Harford trying to stick Goodman away twice in the last few minutes. I think that Barnsley have... because Sunderland defending quite well, I think Barnsley have got to try and hit them quicker on the break, and that's the only way that they're going to get in behind them. Especially
with the makeup of the side today.
Well, yeah, you know, Sunderland are getting 9 men, including the goalkeeper, behind the ball every chance they get. So if they can just suck them on a little bit and then hit them on the break, I think they'll score goals.
Okay, thanks, Terry. It's a Barnsley free kick here, 7 or 8 yards outside the penalty area. Deacon and Biggins are in there alongside Neil Redfern. They'll have 2 or 3 variations to work on here. And it's a Biggins shot and a Biggins goal. Wonderful strike from Wayne Biggins.
Tremendous goal. We said before the game he was one of the players to watch. Terry said it, I said it, and that's a superb strike from all of 25 yards.
It didn't need a variation when you can hit a ball like that. Who needs anything different? Wonderful goal from Wayne Biggins to light up the game. This is it.
Why work on free kicks, John, when you hit the ball like that? Tremendous.
Just the start Barnsley wanted, and here they come again with O'Connell now. Here's the goal scorer, Biggins, looping it in, and Norman has to be sure as he gathers it at the second attempt. I think Tony Norman looked quizzically when the goal went in. He wondered how on earth it had beaten him from that distance.
I don't think he knew too much about it, John. The pace on the ball and the accuracy of it was tremendous.
But here comes Sunderland now. Harford's fed it through, and Whitehead goes to make the stop, although a whistle had gone anyway. So Armstrong shot would not have counted. But Wayne Biggins there with his 17th goal this season has really given us a match here.
You can see there 3 on the board before he struck it. A tremendous strike again, right in the top corner. Everybody, I think, thought they were going to work something, but he hit it straight in the top corner. What more can you say?
Well, he got 24 for Stoke last season, and he's well on the way to a similar total this season. So a striker very much in form as well. That was his 6th in the last 7 games. Here's Goodman. He was wrestled down, was he? No, the referee is shaking his head. So Taggart's a relieved man. Goodman again cannot believe it. Looks to the linesman. And noticeably good. And Armstrong has just raced after referee Callow and said to him, have a word with the linesman. Referee Callow doesn't want to know. He was, I've got to say, referee Callow was a long way away from it.
He was a hell of a long way away, John. And Son will be very disappointed to see Bobby Ferguson out of the box there, wanting to have a word. As he goes through here, there's an arm across. He's pulling up the shirt. He went down, and very, very close decision. I mean, a lot of people, I think myself included, would have given something there, but he was a long way away, the ref.
Doc Goodman's smiling now, but he's still bemused. And of course, it was a direct run on goal as well. Players can get sent off for that sort of thing.
Correct.
So Barnsley should be a little relieved. Here's Kaloon. Armstrong. Sunderland themselves showing good signs in the penalty areas. Kevin Ball had stolen up into the penalty box there to get in the header.
It's definitely livened the game up the goal, hasn't it, John?
It has indeed. Long ball from Armstrong up there for Goodman. There are certainly signs that Don Goodman is going to hassle the Barnsley defence today. It could pose them a lot of problems. Now the Biggins will advance on Norman.
I think they're looking to push Colquhoun up front now to make a 3-up by the looks of it. They just have a little direction from the bench, and Colquhoun's gone into a central position, so possibly they're trying to push forward even further now.
Which should make the game even more exciting. Goodman going out wider right, maybe. Now he's changed again with Harford as they wait for this free kick from their manager. Terry Butcher. Bennett's got it there as well. A fall to Gary Hours, maybe, edge of the area. Still Hours. Calls for handball, but it was directly at the man, 2 yards in front of him. Fleming steadies himself. Chested down by Armstrong. Well, Sunderland have just had a very good run of results until losing last week in midweek at Leicester. Before that, they'd not conceded a goal in 5 matches. Oh, and then there's a back pass which went astray there. And so did that off the side of Whitehead's boot.
Good little spell of pressure here from Sunderland. Goodman looking lively up front.
Goodman might look to get the corner here, and that's exactly what he does get. Plenty of Sunderland flags. That's the end, of course, at which their supporters are all gathered, and they want a quick reply now to that Biggins goal. From this corner, maybe. Well, there were several Sunderland bodies in there trying to win the ball. With 20 minutes gone, it's the Wayne Biggins goal that separates the sides. If Barnsley do win today, they can move up the table significantly. They could even go 10th, depending on Derby County's result. At the moment, Barnsley 13th and Sunderland 15th. Offside flag against Brendan O'Connell. Jack Charlton was very interested in the last time we were here. He's certainly got a good Irish name, although he was born in London. That wouldn't stop Jack picking him.
No, won't stop Jack.
So for anybody just joining us, Barnsley are a goal ahead of Sunderland here at Oakwell. A terrific goal it was too from Wayne Biggins. Almost who else you would say about Barnsley at the moment. Harford for Sunderland. And again. He looks ungainly often, Mick Harford, but he gets through some work. And there's the scurrying figure of Archdeacon for Barnsley. Laying it long. Biggins to give chase. He's about 20 yards offside. That's one thing that has happened, of course, with the change of law. We do see a lot of offsides in those situations now. Yes,
and Sunderland are pushing out quite quickly anyway. As before, Terry's organising them very well, and they're catching the odd forward offside. And as we said there, the new rule is 20-30 yards adrift of the player.
It's a lovely afternoon for football in Barnsley. There's not a great deal of wind. There's Harford with a header. And Phil Whitehead, who was loaned it to Bradford City earlier this season, here in goal in the absence of captain Lee Butler. And so far he's kept goal very dependably. And now Kerry for Barnsley. Losing out to Ord. Young player Richard Ord. I know you know plenty about him, Chris.
Yes, 2 or 3 of these players, Gary Hours, Gordon Armstrong and Richard Ord, I had in the youth team when I was at Sunderland, and they've come on very well. Richard's a good, honest lad, as I said before, usually a centre-back, but he does a good job on the left. Lovely left peg on him.
Harford and Davis was together there, and it's up towards Goodman again, edge of that area. Taggart knocking it out. Well, there's no foul, there was no handball. Cullen simply challenged for the ball, but Barnsley comes streaming forward in numbers. This is Bishop now, and he's committed a foul on ball and acknowledges it too. Nice to see, actually patted the opponent on the head there.
Yeah, Kevin Ball showed a lot of pace to recover there. What's happened there with John Calhoun pushing inside a little bit, Charlie Bishop can be released now, gets a bit of space, and he pushed forward there, but didn't really have the legs to get past Kevin.
Tony Norman's free kick for Sunderland is going to drop about 5 yards outside the area, and Taggart's challenge on Harford led to a free kick which has already been taken. But although it was smart, it wasn't very effective. Butcher's ball. Goodman, don't think even he will keep it in. He's like a greyhound. There aren't many quicker than him in the league.
Yeah, he's very quick. You can't relax as a defender when you've got somebody that pace. As Terry said before the game, sometimes his touch just lets him down slightly, but with his pace and his strength, you cannot relax.
Armstrong did well to win that, and Hours has invited Harford to chase it. Barnsley defending comfortably at the moment. It's good to see Steve Davis back in there. There he is, the former Burnley player who's had wretched luck really following his £180,000 move here at the start of last season. He was out for the best part of 18 months.
Yeah, he's a very good defender in the lower divisions with Burnley, and then he came here with high hopes and has had a difficult time through injury, but it's good to see a player recover and get back into the first team.
Redfern. Flick through, puts Bennett under a bit of pressure, and O'Connell will increase the pressure. It is a nervy moment for goalkeepers when that sort of thing happens. 25 minutes gone, Barnsley a goal up. Kerry. Still emerged with the ball somehow from amongst all those players, and he's still with it. He must have had possession there for a good 10 seconds. Must have seemed an eternity.
If he could have just looked up, even the crowd was screaming left back because Charlie Bishop was in acres of space, but he got his head down and he saw blue socks and couldn't really lift it there.
Well, that was big and straight at the hands of Hours. The overhead kick from Davis fell onto the head of Goodman, and Sunderland have plenty of men up here now. Hours it is. Good square pass as well. That was good vision, spotting ball there. They're playing the ball around, but not to any great effect. And that one over the top from Bennett finds, I think, 2 players offside. Goodman certainly.
Yeah, as soon as the ball went back, Barnsley just squeezed up 5 or 6 yards and caught the forward offside. Good little bit of play, good passing, but they maybe could have got forward a touch earlier there.
It's not quite incisive enough.
Not really.
Whitehead's free kick. O'Connell under it, so was Bennett. Archdeacon shields the ball very well, and now he's laid it into the path of the on-rushing Fleming, who goes down the line, giving Kerry the option of floating it in deep, and there's Biggins with a header. In fact, it wasn't, it was Archdeacon who got it in the end. Good ball in, though, and Fleming and Kerry worked well in unison down the right flank.
Yes, good bit of possession play, and they got the ball into the box. As you can see here, the ball goes into the box. They've got a hard job with the height of Sunderland's defence here, but he just manages to get above Kevin Ball. Got a touch to him, it wasn't really powerful enough.
This is Biggins. And then Redfern. Butcher strong enough to beat O'Connell away. Calhoun. And then Harford. Calhoun might try his luck from here. Well, he's not got a goal since he joined Sunderland from Millwall at the start of the season. And in fact, he was towards the end of last season when Malcolm Crosby picked him up. But he's willing to have a go.
A little bit ambitious from there. He's 35, 40 yards out. Defender got across him. Didn't trouble the goalkeeper.
Fleming. Nice little header from Butcher. That Archdeacon comes to help out. That might be a free kick.
Good forwards tackle, that, isn't it?
Yes, the acknowledged hand raised by Goodman. Former Bradford City, West Bromwich Albion man.
Barnsley's fullbacks are getting a lot of space now, John, with Sunderland got to a 4-3-3 and Gary Howes is tucked in alongside Cunnington and Armstrong. So if they can just utilise the space the fullbacks have got, we can maybe see a bit more play down the wings.
Ball slewed off the side of his boot, and yet Harford has still picked it up for Sunderland. Lobbed on towards Howes by Ord, who's somehow wriggled away through there. Bit of confusion between Armstrong and Howes, though. Ball, no confusion in his mind what he's got to do. It's up towards Goodman, and Goodman's here. They've two men inside the area, and he'll settle for the corner. Now this is where they'll look to try and get Mick Harford into it.
Good example of a good early ball down the sides. As we said before, if they could just get forward a little bit quicker, they turned the fullback. Don Goodman got a little bit of possession and they've run a corner. And as you say, the big lads have come up now and tried to attack this.
Howes takes the corners for Sunderland. And it looks like he's going to hit this one right-footed, and that's because Harford is lodged on the edge of the penalty box. And he wants it long, and he'll come for it. As Butcher heads on, here's Harford over the top. His first chance to score for Sunderland, and he should have done better, really.
Yeah, that was a great chance. He's ended up 5 yards out. Near post flick on. We see that so often in the game nowadays, and they're very, very difficult to defend. Gary Howes clips it to the near post. Terry Butcher, little flick on in front of two defenders, and he's, what is he now, 5, 6 yards out. Morning Vicar, nod your head, and he scores a goal.
Should have done better, really, because the first part of it worked to perfection with Butcher going up there.
Yes, and he scored so many of those in his career, as we saw before the game.
Harford will be disappointed because he's a Sunderland boy. Of course, he was born in the town, although he's played just about everywhere else. It's taken him a long time to go home, hasn't it?
That's right.
Here he is again now. Sunderland showing a bit of ambition. Oh dear, I was going to say ambition, but his studs let him down there, and the ball has been laid forward for Biggins, the scorer, and he's got Curry wide too. Sunderland desperately trying to get men back, but Curry hit it straight against the legs of the defender in the end. But still there are 7 players ahead of Fleming as he hits it up into the area. Barnsley thought that McConnell was perhaps wrestled there. There seemed to be an arm around his neck. Nothing given, so Redfern thumps one in, and it's gone wide. But Sunderland were caught for a moment there because the ball up front certainly found Biggins in some space.
Yes, Biggins got it under control, and then Curry had acres of space because Richard Order tucked in alongside Terry Butcher, and he could have done a little bit better possibly with that. But good defending from Richard Order and Terry after being stranded, really.
Hours from Armstrong. He tries to show his pace. If there is a criticism of Gary Howes, it's always been that he is a bit one-paced.
Yeah, he's a big lad, long loping stride, and once he gets into his... Stopping there while
He's
they're in the
knocked
box.
into the area, yes. It was a very critical punch out, that one by Whitehead. With Goodman coming in, but I don't think that's going to be critical.
Yeah, once he's into his stride, Gary, he's a quick lad, but it takes him a few yards to get going.
There's Bishop winning it and hitting it long. One for O'Connell to go after, that's for sure. And Bennett has just managed to slide it back for Tony Norman. And about 3 of them offside.
Yeah, there we go, Gary Bennett, quick lad. A little bit risky on the back pass, but then he made up for it by getting out quickly and catching 2 offside.
Taggart won it fairly, edge of the area, but Howes might let one rip from here. In the end, he feeds Armstrong. And ball, plenty of men in the penalty area. Harford among them. Here is Harford, back post. This is dangerous. Oh, Whitehead, surely that was a foul challenge by Goodman on him. The boot was up, and despite the look towards the linesman, that had to be a free kick.
And that's the other benefit of having Mick Harford in your side. He's pulled away to the far post, good diagonal ball, and everybody's looking for the knockback. Just couldn't get enough purchase on it, and Don Goodman had to go in. Forwards challenge, wants to score goals. Referee called a foul.
Nicely done. Fleming has had a good game so far. Lays it down the middle, then it knocking it back. We're inside the last 10 minutes of this first half as referee Callow gives a free kick. Let's hear again from Terry Yorath.
I just feel, John, that the way that Sunderland are playing at the moment with Harford and Goodman up front and Calhoun there, who you see on your televisions now, playing just behind them, I feel that he is blocking a lot of the runs that Sean Cunnington could be making. And I just don't feel that they know exactly what they're trying to do. And that's why I feel he should get himself out of that hole, or they should get him out of that hole, and play just as a 4-4-2 formation.
Thanks, Terry. Yes, it's interesting. Hardly seem to refer to Sean Cunnington in this game as yet, which is unusual because he's a very industrious type of player. But the game has been bypassing him in a way. It's been bypassing Ian Hendon as well.
Yes, one of Sean's strengths is his runs from midfield, and it is getting a bit tight in there. And Terry's dead right. We need a bit more width from Sunderland, don't we?
That was a huge hoof from Tony Norman. But Barnsley bring it out again. Once more, the red tide comes forward. All the hands to the pump. There is Cunnington. Having just said that, of course he figures, but not in a positive mood. Barnsley lead by 1-0. Wayne begins. Here's a good flick on from Harford, but Goodman was offside. I suppose, Chris, it does take a little while to gel anyway. I mean, Harford only joined the club in midweek. It's going to take a few training sessions to work things out.
Yes, he'll be getting used to one or two of the other players' runs, and we're looking at Calhoun there winning the ball when really Mick Harford should be looking to win that, or Don Goodman. It's getting a bit tight in there, as we said, and Mick will get used to them as the game goes on. But already he's caused problems, and he's had one or two chances, and I'm sure we'll get more as the game goes on.
Harford edge of the area. Well, that missed kick has allowed Sunderland to continue the move, but Barnsley have got just about everybody behind the ball. Only Biggins up on the halfway line, but there's a break here for Sunderland, and ours edge of the area loses out with that man Fleming again.
So there's a lack of a left foot on the left hand side. As it dropped the Gary, he wanted to try and get it back onto his right foot. If you have a naturally left-footed player, he would have put that back in first time, I'm sure.
Just a reminder that Chris will be naming our Barclays man of the match later. And here is the corner for Sunderland. Short, Butcher's there again with the flick on, and this time it's headed away by O'Connell. Davis, in fact, and Barnsley in more attacking guys win a free kick.
Another chance, John, from a set piece. As we said before, if the ball's right, you can't defend it. The big lad, Terry Butcher, 6'4", 6'5", or whatever he is, a flick on. And they just needed somebody taking a gamble on that flick on to score a goal.
Yes, you can see when they have worked things out that Terry Butcher there and Mick Harford will be quite a handful for any defence. Sunderland still need some points. Well, Terry Butcher says that they've really put relegation to the back of their minds. It is still a possibility. There's a ball forward which finds O'Connell offside. The thing about 3 points for a win nowadays is that you can be in mid-table with 10 games to go and then suddenly find yourself being hauled right into it.
Yeah, Mel was saying a bit tongue-in-cheek before the game about if they won all the games, they'll get 80 points or whatever, but he'll be looking, a lot of pride flying about when you're in mid-table. You want to get as many points as you can, and they're professionals and they want to win the game.
Ours, good ball, Goodman taking it. Very back defending. Ord will swing this one in, far edge of the penalty area. Harford there for it. Taggart was underneath it too, and Taggart leads the breakout. Well, he would have done if he'd been able to have a bit more pace just to keep that ball in play.
Not a left winger, is he, Dan?
Kalou the ball. Kalou has stayed on the touchline and is able to deliver a dangerous looking cross. Always dangerous because Harford is here with the header, but no power in it. So Whitehead's not had too many problems so far. Yeah,
hung in the air a bit for Mick. He wanted to power it back across, but again, couldn't get too much power into the header.
Higgins, Redford, and making that forward run is O'Connell. He was a bit unlucky there. He tried to control it and it simply fell handily into the lap of Butcher. Now if it comes back, O'Connell's bound to be offside.
With an offside, we should have a fiver for everyone so far.
Sunderland have shown enough to suggest they can get goals in this match, that is for sure. But they trail by a goal to nil as Archdeacon tries to locate O'Connell up there, playing a bit of a lone hand. Higgins was more withdrawn for the moment. It's going to be another foul against Don Goodman, who must have conceded more than anybody in this match and seems totally unimpressed by the refereeing of Mr. Callow.
They seem to change the formation very quickly, Sunderland, John. After the goal, they changed to putting Calhoun just in behind the front two and making three at the midfield. I think they should have given it a bit longer, the other way, 4-4-2, especially with Calhoun possibly providing service for the two frontmen on the right-hand side.
That's long, and this time it's Davis. First time, and then Taggart the second time will get it out, and then that's a dodgy area to be playing about with it. Sunderland would love a goal in these closing 5 minutes of the half, just to push themselves back into this match, and Whitehead palms it down, and here might be an equaliser. No, Cunnington's shot blocked. The first time really that Phil Whitehead has been anything less than positive. He had to come for the ball, didn't really do with it what he wanted to do.
Hopeful ball into the box from Gordon Armstrong. He came and he jumped, and there again Mick Harford, that's what they want. He's a problem. It's dropped to somebody there. They've had a shot, deflection, good chance though, great chance.
Cunnington shot Davis on the line. They're not bothering to push up on Norman for this clearance. And he can clear long. It has to be to guard against hitting it too long, but Harford there did well, and Goodman has committed the foul.
Offside, I think.
Wait, you wish you had a fiver for every time we've said that as well.
You're promising.
After the initial disappointment, he's accepted everything with good grace. He usually has a bit of a grin throughout the game, does Don?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely flick. Harford to Kalou. And that's a foul by Hendon. I don't think that John Kalou was mightily impressed by it. Ian Hendon, tenacious, combative.
Yeah, be very keen as well. His first game here, trying to impress, and just a little bit over keen there, possibly. Yeah, the ball's bobbled up. To be fair, he's gone in with his head, brave enough. Calhoun's foot was high, even though he's a short lad.
Ball takes the free kick. And the header on by Hours. I don't think that's going to trouble Whitehead. So Sunderland still looking for a breakthrough in the game.
They do well for goalkeepers at Barnsley, don't they, John? They've got this lad here, but Watson's been away with the England team, and Lee Butler, who's injured.
That's right. Lee Butler did play in the reserves, by the way, during the week, but he's not yet considered fit enough to make his comeback. Here, Barnsley looking for a second one before the break, and that would change the complexion of the match if they got one. They'll have to be content with a throw-in for the moment. Terry Butcher will be desperate for his team not to concede anything now. Sounds so different, 2-0 to 1-0. Beginning to notice he's hobbling as well. That could be bad news for Barnsley. Here now Redfern. And the ball up. Oh, Connell, I thought he was going to be in an onside position, but he just strayed. So having already been taken, the free kick allows ball to come up. Goodman. Was that a handball? Well, it may have been, but Goodman was seen to push Taggart into it. And again, he really is having a bad day, isn't he, Don Goodman, for the moment. He cannot believe some of referee Keller's decisions. That's certainly going to be an interesting one.
Well, and another long ball. They're trying to change it now, giving forwards different type of service. He jumps. Now, there's a definite hand on the ball there, but the referee's obviously decided Goodman pushed him into it. Another smile.
A wry one, I think you could say.
Wonder what he's thinking.
You can see things developing between Taggart and Goodman today. Butcher met that all right.
See, there's the lack of width against Sunderland. Gary Howe's inside, alongside Gordon Armstrong, who's playing the ball into space he thought Gary Howe's would be in.
I wouldn't be surprised if they brought Peter Davenport on at some stage. Redfern for Barnsley. He's got a bit of ground to make up here. And O'Connell, I don't think he's going to get onto that. He's had one or two unavailing chases today, Brendan O'Connell. It's not really his game to chase the ball through the middle. More of a forager. Begins. That's out of play. We're in the closing moments of the half. Chris, what are your overall thoughts?
Tremendous goal, obviously. That's been the highlight of the half so far from Wayne Biggins. I think Barnsley have just sat back a little bit too much now. They haven't really threatened Sunderland's goal for a while. Sunderland are pushing, but as we've said, if they could just get their shape right and give us a bit more width, I'm sure there's more goals in the game.
At half-time here at Oakwell, I saw Mel Machin just dash off quickly. He wants to be off to the dressing room, but Wayne Biggins' goal, and what a cracker it was, separates the sides. He is hobbling, however. It's 1-0 to Barnsley at half-time. They're good value for that lead as well. Sunderland have had their chances, notably a header by Mick Harford, which was over the top. At half-time, it's 1-0 to Barnsley. We're back after the break.
Welcome back to Oakwell. It's Barnsley 1, Sunderland 0 at half-time. Barnsley really have had one chance and taken it, Terry.
Yeah, it was a good goal, man. He struck it really, really well. But I was just thinking that before half-time, how many times the boy Hendon and Redfern have actually touched the ball in the half, and it's not a lot, is it?
It isn't. So you would feel, if you were Mel Machin, reasonably happy with the way things are going?
I'd feel reasonably happy that we're 1-0 up, but as far as the game itself is concerned, you've got to say that Don Goodman has been more of a threat than anybody on the Barnsley side.
Indeed. Let's have a look at the goal, shall we? Because it was a goal really well worth remembering. The scorer was Wayne Biggins.
Great strike, right foot. We were lucky enough to be right behind this, and the keeper had no chance, even though he's one of my own goalkeepers.
Did look as though possibly might have been unsighted by Kevin Wall, do you think?
No, I just think that the ball was just struck dead right. It's a great strike. He had no chance at all.
It's a great tribute to Wayne Biggins when you think of him really mainly as a man who nicks goals in the 6-yard area, to be able to do that as well.
Oh, tremendous. But I thought Archdeacon was going to take it because, he's got that good left foot, and I thought he was bound to take it. But Wayne's got a lot of confidence, obviously. Good goal scorer. And he'll go home tonight happy with that one.
So just expand a little bit on what you think Barnsley could do more, because they haven't really been creating the chances apart from that goal.
No, they play with these 3 men at the back, with the 2 full-backs pushing in. And I feel that perhaps the way that Sunderland are playing, they could make more use of their full-backs and possibly make more use of Curry as well on the right wing. But the two players in the middle of the field, the game's bypassing them at the moment. You know, it's going from end to end. Sunderland don't particularly want to play through midfield. They want to get Goodman behind the Barnsley back four.
Well, they did get Goodman in, didn't they? And that they felt that they should have had a free. Well, we thought they should have had a free kick and possibly a sending off. We'll have a quick look at that, if we may. And it seemed quite clear to us, didn't it?
Well, he's definitely going across Goodman there. There's the arm going in. Goodman's definitely 2 yards in front now. And if that's not a free kick, then there's got to be something wrong somewhere. But actually, I thought the linesman was giving that. And then he bottled out of it when the referee didn't give it.
It could be that, in fact, the linesman would have had a better view of that, and the referee was behind the two players and might not have seen the arm.
Well, if the
linesman has to stick to his guns, doesn't he?
If the linesman had seen it, he should have kept his flag up. You know, he's deprived Sunderland there of a possible goal, and there may have been a sending off as well.
Now, Mick Harford has caused problems with his height, as we knew he would, and he nearly scored.
Well, he should have scored, shouldn't he? You know, there's a good ball in, good flick on, and he was coming on just right. And he will be thinking about that now.
Terry Butcher's flick on the near
There's
post.
a flick on. It's missed Goodman. He's come on with a bit of pace there, and you expect him to head that down into the back of the net. That was definitely their best chance.
Now, you said earlier on that you thought Barnsley would be happier playing on the break. They went the goal up, which you'd have thought meant Sunderland would come out and Barnsley would have more chances to come on the break, but they haven't really had the width, have they?
No, they haven't, not at all. Sunderland do get a lot of men behind the ball, but I felt, you know, they're 1-0 up now. They've thrown Colloon forward. Cunnington seems to be trying to get forward. And I felt that Barnsley could possibly play just a little bit quicker. And I don't mean quicker with a long ball, I mean quicker through the middle of the park, maybe get out wide to the two wide men, get good ball in. And they failed to do that. Maybe they felt they could sit on that lead. But the way that the game's shaping up, they could pay for that. If they think they can just sit back and get a 1-0 win, then I don't think so.
They might well have paid for it, but for another slightly strange decision, possibly by the officials coming up to half-time, when there appeared to be, or there definitely was, as far as I could see, a handball by Jerry Taggart.
Here you see it, the ball was a hopeful ball up by Armstrong. And Goodman may have got a touch, but at the same time his arm's up in the air. And I think the touch with his arm came before Goodman's touch on the other opponent. And that's another dodgy one. You know, if the referee's in there reflecting on his game in the first 45 minutes, then he'll have doubts about himself, I think.
Well, we shall see. Sunderland will certainly feel, I think, at half-time that they may have been a little hard done by. We'll see what they do in the second half. Do stay with us throughout the afternoon. We've got some cracking goals from around the Football League later on. It's half-time, back after the break.